Alyssa stepped out of the taxi and looked up at the big house. It was her uncle's home, where she would live during college. As she picked up her bag, the front door opened. A young man stood there, tall and handsome. Their eyes met. For a moment, everything stopped. It was Daniel. She remembered him from childhood, but now he looked so different. His smile was soft, his eyes kind. "Welcome, Alyssa," he said gently. She smiled back, her heart beating faster than it should. At dinner, she sat beside him. Their arms brushed. It felt like fire. She looked down, confused. "He's your cousin," her mind whispered. This is wrong. But something had already started. That night, Alyssa couldn't sleep. She stood by the window, looking at the stars. Across the garden, she saw him. Daniel was also at his window, staring up at the sky. Then he looked at her and smiled again, the same soft smile from before. Alyssa's heart raced. She stepped back quickly and closed the curtain. She knew this feeling was dangerous. She knew it was wrong. But her heart didn't care. Something had changed, and it had only just begun days past. But the feeling between Alyssa and Daniel only grew stronger. They didn't say anything, but their eyes spoke a secret language. Every time Daniel walked into the room, Alyssa felt her heart skip a beat. He would smile at her softly, and she would look away, trying to hide her blush. One evening, he helped her with a college project. They sat close on the couch, their shoulders almost touching. His voice was calm and gentle. Sometimes their fingers would meet by mistake, and both would pull away quickly, but not before their eyes met. That night, it started raining heavily. Power went out. Daniel lit candles and brought Alyssa a warm drink. She was shivering. Quietly, he placed his jacket around her. She looked at him, eyes full of questions. He just smiled and said, "You'll catch a cold." Later, while exploring the house, Alyssa entered Daniel's room. On his desk was a small notebook. She opened it and froze. Inside was a drawing. Her face, drawn in pencil. Her breath caught. Why would he have this? The feelings she was trying to ignore were now real. Something deep and dangerous was growing between them, and she wasn't ready to stop it. Alyssa tried to stay away from Daniel, but it was getting harder. Her heart didn't listen. Every moment around him felt warm, like a secret dream she didn't want to wake from. One weekend evening, Daniel asked her, "Want to go for a walk?" She nodded, even though she knew she shouldn't. They walked silently through a quiet path behind the house. The wind was soft, the moon was bright. Trees danced above them. They stopped near a small lake. The water shimmered under the moonlight. Alyssa sat on a rock, and Daniel sat beside her. Their shoulders touched gently. "You've been quiet lately," Daniel said, looking at her. "I'm just trying to think straight," she whispered. Daniel smiled. "So am I." He reached out and held her hand. She didn't move. His touch was soft but full of feeling. "I've loved you," he said suddenly, "since the day you walked back into my life." Alyssa's eyes widened. She felt frozen. Her heart was shouting yes, but her mind whispered no. Tears filled her eyes. She didn't speak. She just leaned her head on his shoulder. It was the moment everything changed. They had crossed a line, and there was no going back. Alyssa stayed away the next day. She didn't talk much. Her heart was full, but her head was heavy with guilt. Loving Daniel felt beautiful, but wrong. They were cousins, even if not by blood. People would never understand. But that night, she found a note hidden inside her book. It was from Daniel. "Meet me at the lake tonight. Just once. I need to see you." Her hands shook as she held the note. She told herself not to go. But when the clock hit midnight, she was already walking toward the lake. Daniel was waiting. The moonlight fell on his face. He looked nervous, but his eyes sparkled when he saw her. They sat in silence. Then he held her hand again. "I don't care what the world says," he whispered. "I care about you." Alyssa's eyes filled with tears. She looked into his eyes, searching for doubt, but found only love. Slowly, he leaned closer, and their lips touched in a soft, emotional kiss. It was gentle, full of truth. But just behind the trees, someone was watching. Daniel's mother stood in the shadows, her face pale. The next morning, the house felt heavy. Alyssa walked into the kitchen, and Daniel's mother was already there, her eyes cold and sharp. "I saw you," she said quietly. "Last night, with Daniel." Alyssa's heart dropped. Her hands shook. She tried to explain, but Mrs. Taylor raised her hand. "He's your cousin. This is not love. This is shame." Daniel entered just then, hearing everything. He stepped in front of Alyssa. "She's not my blood cousin." "You know that," he said firmly. "And I love her." Mrs. Taylor's face turned red with anger. "I won't allow this." Alyssa couldn't bear the fight. She ran to her room, packed her bag, and decided to leave. Tears fell from her eyes as she stood at the train station, her heart broken. Just as the train arrived, she heard footsteps. Daniel was there, out of breath. "Don't go," he said, holding her hand. "Let's leave this place. Let's choose love over fear." Alyssa looked at him, then at the train. A second later, she dropped her bag and fell into his arms. They left everything behind that day.